takes us to item 11, the transformation programme, which I shall introduce, and I think Councillor Ellis, you're seconding, is that correct? Yep, very good. So, by way of introduction, I shall give a few opening remarks on the transformation programme, what it is, why it's so important, and why we're considering it here this evening. As I've just referenced, indeed, as people know, the Council last year in 2023 went through the LGA's Corporate Peer Challenge process, and that spoke a lot of truth to where the Council was, and likewise the follow-up review 9 months on spoke to a lot of the progress that had been made. The opening line of that review report stated very clearly that 9 months on there had been profound change in the Council, and again I think that's something that the Council can be enormously proud of, and it was that follow-up review that formed the basis for the award of the second most improved Council in the country. But I think what has been made clear is whilst we have improved across the board, in some parts immeasurably, that fundamentally we now need to go much further to put the Council on a sustainable footing for years to come and to deliver so much more than that which we are. So this transformation programme seeks to address a number of things, and you know, as we've often found is the case in this chamber, lots of things many other councils have done, Harlow has been well behind the curve on, and transformation programmes is one of them. Harlow has not gone through a transformation programme in the way that most councils up and down the country have. But the big difference we have, thanks to some of the things I've just mentioned, is our transformation programme is not being driven by the need to save money. Most transformation programmes in the country have been driven by a savings target. Ours is not. Ours is driven by a desire to do better things for residents, to be more efficient as an organisation, spend their money even better than we currently do, and to deliver better outcomes for them. And that is the first important thing to note that the transformation programme sets out, that we are not doing this to save money, we are doing this to do a better job for the people that pay us their money and to deliver services on their behalf. What the report sets out is the purpose of the transformation programme, what it means, the governance that will sit around that transformation programme, and the assurance to that regard to ensure that this programme truly delivers and that the words that are set out in that vision become a reality. And I think you, again, Cabinet should take confidence from some of the things we've done over the past year that that will be the case. But it is there, I wouldn't say in black and white because it's in colour, but for people to see quite clearly the process that we will go through. There'll be a quarterly update to Cabinet to set out the progress that is being made. But the most important thing about that report is that it will clearly define what the transformation programme truly looks like and the benefits that will flow to residents as a result of that programme of work. So like I say, it's a significant thing. We've put in, it is another step in the transformation that we've set out. We've put in place the funding for it through the flexible use capital receipts and the transformation reserve that was set up, dare I say, because we achieved a general fund surplus last year. So the funding is in place, the governance is in place, the assurance is in place, the programme is in place. And with Cabinet's endorsement tonight, we can get on and deliver such a programme. Anything you wish to add at this moment in time?
I think you've covered most of it, but just to say, you know, all of us are here to serve Harlow, and if we can do a better job for the people of Harlow, then we should, and that's what this report's all about. And I'm really excited to work on the details and implementation of it in the weeks and months ahead.
Very good. Takes us to questions. Any questions on the transformation programme? Yeah, Councillor Edwards.
I just wonder why this has all been done in the reverse way. One could say, asked about face, but other people, in the sense of, here we are, first time, as far as I'm aware, that this has come to Cabinet in terms of this transformation programme. As you've already said, you're putting into action already the appointments of where you're looking for executive directors and a managing director, so that's all going through. At the previous council meeting, you put into place the funding, or the council voted through on the funding, etc. So it's only now that we're actually seeing the reports which talk about the what the transformation programme is all about. So why wasn't it done the other way round? Why wasn't this first brought to Cabinet and first brought, you know, so we could see what the justifications, etc. were, or you could explain to us and your Cabinet what the justifications, etc. were. And then, then and now, so you saw what one could clearly see what the transformation programme was all about and what the intentions were, etc. And then you then embark on the...
Yeah, I think I've got the question, because we're on questions at the moment. So what you're asking is why now, I suppose, as opposed to previously. So there's a few things to say. The transformation programme is another step. If you recall the report that went to full council in October, setting out the next steps for transformation, which I know you took great interest in, one of the steps that was set out in that was a programme such as this. Another step that was set out in that was a comprehensive restructuring of our senior management. They, whilst interlinked, were not interdependent. We did not need one to happen for the other to happen. The programme is coming forward now because significant work has gone into it to get us to this point. It's not been possible to bring it forward before this. But like I say, the things that you reference, whether it's the additional money that we're able to put in because we're running the finance as well, or the comprehensive restructuring of the senior management to be able to deliver our ambitions, were not reliant upon this. And actually, if you read it, it makes that quite clear. So I would reject your premise and say that it's not us about face, to quote you. Councillor Morrison.
Thank you. Thank you very much. For the benefit of those members of the public who may be watching, sometimes people do watch, and who don't necessarily read this fairly detailed document, I'd like to touch on some of the ideas, because I think that some elucidation would be beneficial. The ideas are all interlinked. For example,
Just conscious, sorry, I'm just conscious we're on questions. If you
I
ask
am
your
about,
questions,
allow me to ask
and then
my
we'll come to
question.
comments thereafter.
Allow me. What exactly do you feel is wrong with the culture at the moment, Harlow and Council culture? There is a reference a few times to a programme of culture change. Added to that, what makes you feel and believe, it would seem, that you aren't attractive to work with at the moment? Are relationships with the supply chain negative? And if so, what has happened over the last few years? And another idea is to do with ideas being prevented from progressing at the moment. There is an intention, a declared intention, that ideas will be progressed. Did you feel that you were stuck for the last 3 years, and if so, why? Why was that? It would be helpful to have an explanation.
Yeah, I think you've significantly misquoted parts of the report. But perhaps if I put it slightly differently, I am not conveying my views. The LGA came in, a peer team of experts came in, and set out quite profoundly the challenges the council have faced because of poor political managerial leadership of the council over a number of years. That is laid very bare. What has happened since, in the 9 months that followed, is we enacted a lot of change very quickly that led us to being named the second most improved council in the country. But what we are now saying is that we need to go much further. I don't think that any councillor would wish to limit the ambition of improvement that the council should seek, or to suggest that we're doing things as well as possible and therefore we don't wish to go further. So actually there is nothing negative contained within the report. There's not negative connotation even. But what it does say is we can improve further still from where we are. The report draws 2 background papers to your attention in response to your question directly. If you wish to reference what the LGA said about our culture and some of the challenges that we have from historic decisions that were taken or from the council structure that has not been fit for purpose, then I would reference you to those two reports. But I think what is actually set out is a very positive report, both in the covering sense, in terms of the covering report, but also in terms of the appendix, which makes very clear, whilst we are in a strong position, whilst, as I've said, this year we've been, I put it a slightly different way. Can this council say at any point in the last 20 years it was named the second most improved council in the country? No, it can't. Can it say that for 2 years in a row it's achieved a budget surplus? No, it can't. Can it say that it achieved as much as it did this year or last year? No, it can't. But what we're now saying is that we wish to go much further. And whilst there, and recognising there are still challenges. And some of those things that we may have put sticking plasters on, we need to go much further and to solidify the foundations. That's why we've set out a transformation programme. Why wouldn't the council wish to be more efficient? Why wouldn't it wish to use technology better than it currently does? Why wouldn't it wish to retain even more staff than it currently does? Why wouldn't it wish to be more attractive to a supply chain? I don't understand why it wouldn't wish to be any of those things. That's not to say that it isn't currently, but it's saying that we wish to go further than that. Okay. Further questions? Councillor Shepherd.
Oh, thank you, Chair. I'm conscious the Council is currently consulting on its climate change strategy, which will play an important part moving forward. But are you satisfied that this vision for transformation does enough to address the challenge of climate change on an organisational level?
Yeah, as the report sets out, the transformation programme is not about the external facing activities of the council. It's about how the council operates and how efficient it is in decision making and all those sorts of things. So yes, I think the council is doing a sterling job in response to the question you ask. As you know, there's a climate change strategy being consulted on at the moment, and when that consultation is done and when we've set out the actions that we wish to, I'm sure that you will vote the budget through that is required to enact such actions in a few months' time. But no, in answer to your direct question, I'm absolutely certain that we are going as far and as fast as we possibly can to that regard. Councillor Gunn.
Thank you, Councillor Swords. And just to add to what you've just said on climate change, I think we should note that the Council is currently recruiting for a climate change and energy strategy manager, which perhaps indicates that we're cracking on with that as we speak and taking real action on that, as well as consulting on the strategy. I did want to come back to the point, the question from Councillor Morrison about the culture of the council, and just query whether in an organisation of our size culture builds up over months, years or decades, and whether he would agree with me that there is decades of cultural build-up in this council that need to be evolved and improved upon, and that's what we're about.
Yeah, absolutely. You've hit the nail on the head to that respect. There are, historic challenges in this council. I think we've gone a long way to address a number of those, but there is further yet to go. I doubt that any councillor knocks on many doors in this town and residents tell them the council does a perfect job and there is no further improvement desired. I can't see that being the case. So when we bring a report that suggests nothing but clarity and a deliverable path to improving the council yet further, why that wouldn't see support from all sides. Yeah. Councillor Charles, I think, question.
Thank you, Chair. I think a number of the questions that have been rightly aired tonight have focused around the theory of change, which I think this paper informs very clearly. You only have to look at the guiding principles around systems, data analytics, maximising tech, collaborating with more strategic and operational partners, and then you look at the culture piece and the focus on principles like community, compassion and ambition. What is your assessment as leader of this council for this paper in particular, those principles and how that is setting us up not only to be an effective local government agent in the future, but an entity that people can be proud of in this town?
Yeah, again, you've hit the nail on the head. I mean, the guiding principles and particularly the values in terms of the section you referenced about what it means for our people. The values have been, over a number of months, built by our staff. All of those values were not picked by us. through a whole, significant programme of engagement with staff. They set out those values and what they believe that the council's values should be, which is why they now sit here. And again, I can't really believe that anyone would disagree with such values. And in reference to the point you make about the guiding principles, again, like you say, I think they put us firm. I think the action we have already taken has put us on a footing to now deliver transformation. We have not done that as far as the council yet requires. We have gone as far as we possibly can without enacting such a programme. I mean, it's strange, I would say, that pretty much every local authority in the country over the last 15 years has gone through a transformation programme. Harlow never did. I don't know why that is the case, but nevertheless, we are now there because of the actions that we've taken, because of the principles that we've set out. I am confident that as this programme is enacted, Cabinet will see on a quarterly basis significant programme that's being made, and the result of that is a better service for residents, more value for money, and as I say, us grasping the opportunity to change this place for the better for a generation. Further questions? No? Any comments on the transformation programme? No? Nothing? Yep, Councillor Garnett.
I'll make a comment. Listening to my residents, they're so impressed with what's been done in Harlow now over the last 3 years. I think the council got into a rut and it wasn't prepared to change till we changed it. I think we are changing it for the better and have changed it for the better, and that's thanks from to all the cabinet members, whether it be housing, whether it's environment or community safety. All of that is we're making a difference in Harlow, and hopefully, not hopefully, I know it's going to happen, in a year, 2 years' time, it'll be a town that we're proud to live in. You know, we won't have houses that have got leaky roofs. We won't have hedges that aren't cut, and all the rest of it that we've had to inherit. So, you know, for me, I know I'm biased a little bit, right? But I'm proud to say it now, and my residents are proud to say to me, thank you for what you're doing.
Any further comments on the transformation programme? No, in which case it comes to me to sum up. And again, I would simply point out, unless Councillor Ellis, you want to add anything further? No. I would simply point out, this is not a light piece of work. This is a programme to truly change the way that the council works. That is not a mere council cabinet report that will never be referenced again. The governance that is set out, the assurance that is set out, the programme that is set out, I truly believe will transform the way this council works, make it more efficient, put it on a better financial footing, more sustainable footing, and the benefit of that will be, as members have already referenced, a town that people are prouder to live in, more opportunities for people, corporate plan that's truly delivered. So I really think this is something that should be welcomed across the board, and people should recognise the amount of work that has gone into it and the difference that it will make. So to that regard, there are two recommendations, one on endorsing the programme and the second that the Cabinet receives a quarterly update on the programme. Are those recommendations agreed?
Agreed.
Good.